you created Nuba Reports, which I think you called citizen journalism. Can you tell us about Nuba Reports?
So at that time, I started Nuba Reports, and Jazeera and I were like, I think this is something that we could fill this gap that no one knew what was happening, and all we had were these tiny little point and shoot cameras, and we had a couple Nuba volunteers that had a desire to do journalism. So we started to make up a plan, and we started to come up with goals, and we're doing this fast. I mean, this is at the same time we don't know where the front lines are. There's vehicles, there's fighting, there's planes bombing at the same time that all this is happening. And so we'd go under mango trees and hide and talk about how to make this media organization. And we built it out of nothing. And then it came, these journalists would start coming in, and I knew how to get them in. There was a small corridor in which we could get journalists in. And so we started to get them in and introduce them to our volunteer citizen journalists. And I said, as a journalist who'd come in like BBC or CNN or Fox News or New York Times, and I'd say, hey, can I put one of my journalists with you? And you teach them some things, teach them how to interview someone, teach them how to take the right camera angle when they're doing video. And they would do that to the point where our journalists got really good. And they did start out as kind of citizen journalists with a cell phone, to the point where they had DSLR cameras, and some of their stuff got on major news outlets. They got it on Al Jazeera and BBC, and full on reports that we would edit. And it was amazing. But also it was very hard. I mean, running from front line to front line every day, seeing death all the time. It was very draining and hard, but you almost feel this guilt. Like if I don't show this, then this person is going to die without anyone knowing. And so that's something that kind of kept us going.
And so it was a website, and is that what it was? And you'd upload these videos?
Yeah, so we would actually take video footage here in Nuba, and there's no internet like we have right now. So we would give someone a flash drive or a SD card from a camera on a motorbike. They would drive it all the way out to the refugee camp, put it on an airplane, send it to Nairobi. They would edit the video in Nairobi, and then post it on our website, nubareports.org.
And then did you also you took count of who was getting injured, how many people were being killed? Is that what you did as well?
Yeah, we really recorded a lot of the bombings. So every photo we took was GPS tagged. So we were showing these atrocities that were taking place. And as a result, people were taking interest. More journalists were coming in. I was invited to the White House to brief the White House staff and Congress on what was taking place. So I had that opportunity because the evidence was there.
And just quickly, the journalists that you were smuggling them in, right? Because no one was allowed to be in there. Journalists were not allowed. So you were literally smuggling them in illegally. They could have been thrown in jail by the Sudanese government, right? For even being there.
Oh, yes. In some cases, they were bombing the road when we were bringing them in.
Wow.